Yo, this is the weekly scan of the first week of September, and it's also the last week of this window of weakness before we have the Vanna and Charm kicking in the market. So, I want to get started by talking about Bitcoin. Crypto is not my focus, but I want to talk about this weekly. I'm seeing this major wedge with this smaller one, and I think it's a good opportunity here. If we break this smaller wedge, I can see a short opportunity to around the 80s, 70s, maybe a sweep at the 70s, testing this prior low. Okay. Let me just check if we pull a Fibonacci. Yeah, I can see a sweep around the 80s, 70s, 70 for sure. So I'm seeing this opportunity. I want to focus on these kind of setups on this week. Since we are in the window of weakness, I'm only looking for a short side. So yeah, Bitcoin is an opportunity, a short side opportunity. If we bounce from here, I want to see it come a little bit higher to around 132, and if we break this major wedge, yeah, we can see it going to all-time highs to a mega rally. Let's see, because we will have the interest rate cuts around September. But for now, window of weakness, short side this week. Okay, now we are going to the broader markets. Today is Labor Day. The market is almost closed, banks are closed, but futures are open, so we're gonna go for futures. And on futures, we can see a trend on the daily chart. What I'm gonna look for this week, I'm gonna talk for this week. I wanna see it bounce from this support or break this support. If we break it, I wanna see it retest as resistance, and then I will probably short it to around the 631, and probably gonna leave some runners to around the 615. Okay, we have this kind of support. I think it's a big support. We have some volume to showing that it's a volatility zone. So yeah, I can see it come. Talking about in the long term, I want to see the market can test the 200s around the 600s. Okay, and this area, I talk about it in the last videos. It's an area that I'm looking for. Probably we only gonna see the market came down as much around January, February. I'm not sure, but for the moment I want to keep it simple. This is a window of weakness. I want to see it around these levels. I want to see if it breaks this support line, or if it bounces from here, and that's my game plan to the broader market. Okay, if we look at SPY, it's a bit messy. Let me just turn off the moving average, and let me just delete this. Okay, so looking at SPY, we can see we have a gap up here, and we have this major gap down here. This is a 1 hour gap. This is the daily gap. So what I'm expecting, since we are in the window of weakness, I'm expecting that the price action will be for the short side, and I want to come down to this trend line that is setting in since the beginning of August, and I want to see it maybe coming up a little bit. Let me just check the futures. Yeah, the futures are green, so tomorrow probably we're gonna see a gap up coming to these levels to test this as resistance, and I want to short it from here to this trend line, or maybe a sweep to this 639. Yeah, that coincides with the futures analysis. So I want to look for this short side, probably on SPY. I want to see it come test this and come down to the trend line. If we break this trend line, maybe a sweep to this support, or maybe coming down to fill this gap. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna look for this short opportunity. Okay, so let me just check where is the golden pocket. Yeah, probably we will see this week the market coming down to around this level, and I want to see then a bounce at the window of strength going into the quarterly OPEX to the all-time highs probably. So I'm going to short it to around this level, a sweep to this golden pocket or to this support, and then rally to the all-time highs is what I'm looking for, but that's only for the next week. Okay, I'm seeing confluence. If I'm go to the daily, let me just clean this. If we go to the daily, I can see it. We are bouncing from this 20 moving average, but I can see coming down to test and sweep this 50 moving average. Okay, and yeah, probably I'm gonna look for the short side, and then I'm gonna turn and go long if we see a rejection or a support at these levels. I don't know, risk it dumping all the way down, because we're gonna have the interest rate cuts, and yeah, I think we're gonna have a little dip before that, so institution can accumulate a little bit more. Okay, another short opportunity I'm looking at is the financial sector. If we came to the daily, we have these three higher highs schematic that I love, and we are seeing weakness at the top of this range. Okay, I'm seeing that this smaller candle, no momentum, with the volume declining on this uptrend, is showing weakness. So what I want to see is basically a rejection of these highs coming down. If we break this 53 level, I can see it coming all the way down, filling this gap, probably filling this hidden one, and coming test the upper part of this at 51. So if we break this level of 53.50, I'm gonna short it to around the 51 level. I want to see a sweep of this gap, this daily gap from June. Yeah, or I'm going to look at individual names. probably JP Morgan, because JP Morgan is almost identical. We have these three higher highs schematic, and the rejection of this level we can see coming down to 289, or to this golden pocket 291. Okay, so this is another short opportunity I'm looking for, and I'm gonna be on the lookout. I want to see how the market opens tomorrow, and I'm gonna go from there. Okay, for this week, for the last one, I'm looking at Uber. I thought we had a head and shoulder pattern. I don't see it anymore. I think it's a double top. I can delete this just to not make confusion, but we can have in consideration that this can be seen as a head and shoulder, with the neckline being this trend line. And yes, what I want to see, I had a successful shorts last week. Yeah, I get this move. What I want to see now is probably a retest of these breakouts, and coming down to the trend line around 88. So if we break this 93.60 around this level, I'm looking at 88.60 around that level. Yeah, let me just see the golden pockets. That's gonna, yeah, a sweep under this. I can see it happen for sure. And for confluence, I can look at, if I can, let me see. We can look at RSI, and on the RSI we have this bearish divergence here, while the market went up, and now we are seeing another one, a possible another one. This one is not confirmed, but yeah, you can see this trend line is flat, while the RSI is declining. So it's a possible hidden bearish divergence. And on the confirmation of this one, with Uber rejecting the top of this upper trend line, I can see it coming down to this level for short. So this is another short opportunity I'm looking for. We are in a 3 higher high schematic, this one inside a major one, a bigger, higher time frame. So yeah, I'm thinking too that we have this gap that I don't know, it's filled. It's almost filled, it's not completely filled. So yeah, I'm gonna look for this rejection, or for the break of this support, and coming down to maybe test the upper part of this past gap. For the next week, I'm gonna talk briefly about the next week, because if we have this move, I wanna see it maybe bounce. I'm gonna look for that, or to a fill of this gap and then a bounce. And I want to talk about an opportunity that I'm talking for many weeks now, that is the consumer staples rotation sector. I'm not sure from where, but I see the rotation is happening from somewhere to the consumer staples. And I traded Pepsi last week, and I'm being successful at Pepsi, and probably gonna trade it again, but for the long side. So not for this week. To the next week, I wanna be focused on Pepsi because Pepsi is in a schematic accumulation. We talk about that a lot. We had a schematic around here with the volume showing clear signs of accumulation at the lows, and now I started this position. I think we are going to come down again for a retest of on this window of weakness. So if we came down, I'm gonna add to my position. I wanna see it test these highs again, and probably gonna leave some runners because probably we're gonna see a jump of the creek kind of schematic, and yeah, I want to take advantage. I want to sell the majority of my position around these highs and then leave some runners for the jump of the creek. So I'm going to focus on this for the next week. So in resume, for this week, only short sides. I want to look for JP Morgan and the financial sector. I want to look for let me remember. I want to look for SPY and futures. I see a little opportunity there, and for Bitcoin. And crypto is all I'm gonna say. I'm only looking at the short side, since we are in a possible rotation from Bitcoin to Ethereum ecosystem. I want to focus only in Bitcoin. And yeah, that's my weekly scan. I don't want to make it too big, so I'm going to finish it here. Let's get some money.